You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make yourself famous. A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host with the most, Kyle Gagliardi, as always joined by my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky.
What's going on, Kyle?
We're back in the OG OTM headquarters recording an episode.
Yeah, finally. It's been a while.
And you picked up some Taco Bell beforehand. What is your go-to Taco Bell order?
Well, normally I'd get the cheesy gordita crunch and the 2 tacos. But
yeah,
today,
I'm out on the cheese.
I went with the big boy. I went with the triple lupa.
Whoa, is that the new thing they're marketing right now?
Yeah, so it's a chalupa that has 3 sections.
And you can tear them apart, right?
Yeah, it's not easy.
I was going to say, how did that turn out? 1 out of 10, what are we giving the triple chalupa?
I'll give it an 8. It's good.
That's a rookie score.
I like the different 8.1.
Thank you.
I like the different flavors. Not drivable. That's not a drivable meal.
Did you eat it in the car, like parked? Or?
Yes,
No.
I parked because I wanted to have a cigar on the way over.
Of course.
To prime myself for the pod, but
man, I haven't had a cigar probably since last summer.
Man,
it's been a while.
I just do swishers, so it's different.
Well, those aren't really cigars, Tuck.
Don't tell my wife that.
Embrace debate. Are Swisher cigars? People are asking.
Yes.
You're going to say yes. I'm going to say no on that one. But other than that, what you been up to? We're still living in the quarantine.
Yeah.
COVID-19 running wild.
Yes, brother. It's running wild on the world.
Still over.
Yes, it is. It is very much over. I've just been getting a lot of stuff done at the house, cutting the grass.
I was going to say, you've mowed a couple times already this week.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I didn't have to mow, yes. The lawn was not in a dire need of a mow, but I was in dire need of mowing it.
Well, you can't mow your baseball field right now, so
yeah.
Sorry for that. No baseball for you this year, officially. I don't know if we broke that news to the wrestling listeners.
Maybe middle school ball in the fall. We do have a middle school season, but that's a lot of work to set up all that field for like 4 home games. But we'll do it if we can. So, but yeah, just been doing the e-learning, everything like that. Watch Wrestlemania. I'm current with all the episodes, so I think I'm ready to rock.
NXT and AEW too that you're just telling me you watched today. We're not going to really break down those shows that happened this week, but we did see before the pod that NXT for the first time in all the weeks that this has been happening beat AEW in overall ratings.
Didn't they beat them one other time?
The tweet that I saw from Brian Alvarez said this is the first one.
Oh, he's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I thought they beat him one week, but I can't. Yeah.
I thought so too before he said that. Maybe they have. I don't know. But this one was 693 to 692. 1,000.
That's pretty close, yeah.
I think it's kind of low for both, just, at the times. Like, what else are people doing on a Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's interesting because people have so much less to do on these nights now. It could be baseball season. You could be dealing with basketball games.
Hockey was supposed to start, yeah.
And they're dealing with nothing, but the numbers are... I think the no live crowd has something to do with it.
People or knowing it was pre-recorded.
Yeah, people aren't as don't have the incentive to tune in. But I thought they were good shows.
Yeah, I thought both did what they could with what they were given. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here because of all the circumstances that are going on. But I see that sports are trying to at least make a comeback, maybe in the late summer to early fall. But I don't know how this is going to affect wrestling because we've heard things that they might not be able to record, but you have a limited roster there because not everybody's going to want to commute.
Right.
So, it's going to be interesting for sure. But
yeah, we'll see. It's unlike any other time, no doubt.
Yeah, and we'll take it, though. I mean, as long as we got wrestling.
Something. And I was very happy with WrestleMania, so all things considered. So, yeah.
We're definitely going to get into that. But before that, we got to remind the people that we are proudly a part of the Overtime Sports Network.
Oh, yeah.
Tuck, what is OTSN all about?
The Overtime Sports Network is a collection of blogs and podcasts covering many corners of the sports world.
When they're going on.
When they happen. Yes, there's a number of podcasts, baseball, Family Divided is mostly football. You got Rust Belt Rivals, Griffle Talk with T-Walk. You got Loud Sports. So
that's right.
A lot of podcasts and sports coverage. And there's also blogs. You wrote a Wrestlemania thank you blog.
Yeah, did you read that?
I did.
Yeah, a lot of negativity out there, Tuck. Why?
I couldn't tell you, but if you head over to otsportsnetwork.com, you can read that blog along with many others. And you can follow them on Twitter @_OTSN. You can follow the podcast on Twitter @PodOnTheMark. You can follow myself @JimTuck89. And you can follow Kyle @TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet! I love how that's catching on.
I mean,
like Mikey joins in on it.
The people know. It's over.
Our loyal 15 listeners, the 2 pigeons that are on my porch right now listening into the podcast.
They're on the live stream right now. Wow.
There's a lot of birds that come by here. I don't know why.
I was outside yesterday evening, and it was loud. Birds were active, not sheltering in place, not respecting the social distancing measures.
How dare they?
Pissing me off. Yeah.
I know one shit on my windshield when I went to drive this morning, so they're definitely out and about, running wild out here for sure. But, yeah, it's weird. As I look at them and just in the background, nobody really cares that pigeons are on my porch. The only reason they're probably tuning in is because this is going to be our WrestleMania recap show, Tuck.
Yeah, and if they weren't in a house, they weren't able to see the show live in Tampa in the open stadium like they usually do. So this is probably the first time they're going to hear about it. Actually, the pigeons.
Yeah. So if you're a pigeon out there listening, we respect your listen, and we're going to get right into it with night 1. We had 2 nights.
Yeah.
First off, how did you like the 2-night setup?
I thought it was cool. You know, we had a setup at the house for night 1.
That was nice.
We had the projector up in the garage, had a table up, had a spread. We even did the inflatable mattress for the dogs to sit on, so they didn't have to sit on the concrete.
Were the dogs 6 feet apart?
They rarely are.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, but that was cool. And then on Sunday, I spent the evening at Mikey Wilson's house, 6 feet away from all of them, watching it with his dad and everything. So it kind of gives you options for 2 nights of experience. Yeah. I liked the early-ish end time too, like the night
especially
one,
night 1,
9:30, but in that area, it's great.
Yeah, night 1 I think was a hard 9 o'clock. I think it ended because when it finished, me and Aaron were sitting here. We're like, "That's it? Like, we're done? Okay. Like, what do we do with our lives?" Because we were drinking away. I don't know if you saw my tweets.
A little bit, yeah.
We incorporated the predictions that we did on the show.
Yeah.
Every time you got a prediction wrong, you had to take a shot.
I would have been pretty drunk.
Yeah, you got last place, right?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and it was my idea to do a body shot off of someone, so...
Are you going to be picking Mikey Wilson? I feel like you have to. He's the one you've known the longest. You got to.
He's got the shallowest belly button, too, I could probably guarantee. I think he's got an Audi.
you know his belly button by heart?
We're best friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. I saw a comment, too, to our final WrestleMania prediction standings. They're like, this looks a lot like the NFC East. I was like, yeah, Cowboys, Eagles. About 10-6. It was 10-6 for me, 9-7 for Mikey and Aaron, and you came in at 7-9. You had a rough first day, but I think the second day helped.
I did. Everything made sense to me, too, all my picks, but that's wrestling, baby.
The only one below 500.
Yeah.
Hey, you got this first one right, though, right?
I did. I picked Bliss and Cross. Did they win?
Against the Kabuki Warriors, not the Kubaki.
There we go.
I always gotta think before I say that one for sure. But I thought this was a solid way to kick off WrestleMania. The match went longer than I kind of anticipated, but there really wasn't a point in this match where I got bored. What did you think of this opening match?
I thought it was a good kickoff. A little bit of action. They gave him plenty of time. And they had the time to edit it down and chose not to.
Yeah, that's true.
But
did you notice the one edit?
I went back. Yeah, it was not great.
The Kairi Sane elbow out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hard cut.
Yes.
Everybody noticed that one at WWE.
But I thought it was a good start, and I'm glad that Bliss and Cross got the titles because now Asuka can go move towards a program.
Yeah, and it looks like since Raw after Mania kicked off with Asuka in singles action, it looks like she's probably going to, stray away a little bit from Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
And Kairi Sane's good enough to be on her own, too. So
I agree, yeah.
now you got Bianca Belair on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Raw Women's Division.
On the come up.
SmackDown Women's Division.
Not great.
Not great. That's for sure. But Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross now are the first 2-time tag team champions. And after they won, I was like, the only team that I could see maybe stepping up is the Iconics, but where the hell have they been?
That's what people are asking.
Making TikToks, I think.
Yeah, all of them are.
They're all over it. I've been following them all, too.
It's not bad.
Mandy Rose, good follow on TikTok. Usually in minimal clothing.
No comment.
Yeah, you're a married man. Happily married plug?
Yes. Happily married still. Even during quarantine, yes. We're making it.
I was going to say, you're getting a lot of time now. How does she feel about it?
It's better for me than it is for her, I'll tell you that. She's got to put up with me. I don't have to put up with her. I get to hang out with her, so it's a different vibe.
That's true. The good thing about me is I'm not quarantined with anyone.
There you go.
So it's kind of just normal life for me.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Doing normal Gagliardi stuff. I feel single again. I'm not.
Yeah. Right.
For the record.
Yes.
Off the market.
Yeah, but you are Bachelor Liarda in this current climate.
I know. I had to even buy a peach pie, as I showed you before this. I felt like living like a bachelor. It's quarantine.
Interesting move going with peach. That's not the first one pulled off the shelf, I feel like.
No, I'm a big peach guy. I think peach might be one of my favorite fruits. Apple pie is a good standard pie. Here we go, just going off tangent, but peach, I was feeling it.
Yeah.
I like peach vodka. I don't know if that correlates at all, but
I mean, yeah, right.
Peach vodka goes good with lemonade. I don't know if you've experienced that.
Never. I have never experienced that.
Oh, and a good peach thing, if you handle peach and you're above 21, Jim Beam peach with Sprite, do it.
Okay.
My company now is Jim Beam, so I'm coming out
with
plugs here. Next match here on night one, we had King Corbin versus Elias. At first, didn't know if Elias was going to show up. He did. Match was okay. Honestly, Tuck, I really don't remember much that happened. I don't know if you can recall much from this match. It's kind of just average.
This was my first loss. I picked King Corbin. I hopped on the Vogus train, and that went off the rails pretty quickly. So, yeah, it was a match. Mm-hmm.
I noticed that you edited my selection because on the show, when the camera went out live on Facebook, I originally went with King Corbin.
Right.
I texted you the morning of, and for some reason I was just like, Elias.
Yes.
Thought it was going to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Didn't.
I had to prove to Mikey, too, that you did.
Oh, he questioned it?
Yeah, because he was like, I thought about...
Of course he did.
No, I have verification. He does want Elias.
If Mikey or Aaron wanted to change before night one started, I would have been cool with it. That can be a thing.
It is a thing, yeah.
But like once we were halfway through, I wasn't going to let anybody change because...
Right.
If a title change happens or it doesn't happen, like in this next match, it kind of affects how you think maybe for other title matches.
Yeah.
So this one was the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. I'll let you get into this one first. What were you thinking here?
Well, I thought Shayna was going to win.
I'd say 90% of people did.
I know, yeah, but Becky Lynch came out on top. It was a good. It felt like a fight,
yeah,
instead of a match. You know, it was a good fight between
as
two.
It should be between these two.
Yeah, they're not afraid to get after it, and the question is, who goes after Becky now? Who's an opposable threat now?
I still think Shayna might be.
I think you have to.
Because the way that Becky won, it was kind of a roll-up, or I don't know what the exact term would be, because it wasn't technically your normal roll-up, but
right.
She reversed, I believe, a submission move and turned it into a pin. I thought that was questionable, maybe because of the COVID and all that. They wanted to just keep going with Becky, because they don't know how much time they're going to have to record.
Yeah, that could be it.
I can't think of a good reason why Becky retained, though. This is the only thing that actually pissed me off from WrestleMania, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't you pick Becky or no?
No, I picked Shayna.
Oh.
I thought this...
Okay.
I think Aaron... Mikey
two
was the
people.
only one.
Oh, I thought two people picked. I thought it was a 2 and 2.
I can go back into
it
the
didn't
annals
matter,
of history.
What? You said anals?
Yeah, I know.
You used it properly, but...
What do people usually say, annals?
No, you used it properly. It's just that word in its context.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, Mikey was the only one that had Becky Lynch.
Oh, Well, screw me.
I forgot what his reasoning was behind it, but good pick there because she retained. But
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was, like you said, it had that fight feel to it. And for most of the match, I was highly entertained. So after that was Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought Sami did that typical cowardly heel stuff very well in here. Mm-hmm. It made you hate him because he was trying to sneak his way out of everything, and then incorporate Cesaro, Nakamura, and Gulak ringside. It kind of seemed more chaotic. There was talking going on.
Yeah.
And it felt more like there was fans there in a weird way, if you know what I'm saying.
No, yeah, there was more stimulation. A lot of times part of it is what's going on outside of the ring as well, the whole spectacle, and that's why I think so many did not want WrestleMania to be changed because of adding 80,000 people in that stadium, but I thought it was a good match.
It was, and I think it was shorter than maybe I wanted, because I think we both know what these two are capable of if they're actually given a large amount of time to put on a match. But the story was basically just Sami trying to sneak by and win this one, and that's what happened here. Sami Zayn retained. Only one to get this wrong was Mikey. Daniel Bryan.
He's a big Daniel Bryan guy. I know that.
I could see it. The beard, maybe. The connection.
I guess.
Beard guys stick together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow one here. What do you think?
It's not as patchy as it has been at times.
Yeah.
You just got to get through it.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Through that weird itchy phase.
Yep.
And you just have a carpet.
Yep.
You just got to maintain it. Yep.
That's what I'm trying to just get this. I can't really describe it, but you could see it.
You've got enough. Yeah, it's good. Thank you for giving me the profile there.
Yeah, you're welcome. I gave him a little head turn for those of you listening right now. After that, though, we got a ladder match. We thought it was going to be a tag match, but we found out that only one person from each team was going to compete, probably because The Miz wasn't going to.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Kofi seemed like the right choice. Most athletic, most experienced. Morrison obviously had to. Mm-hmm. And, one of the Usos had to.
Yeah.
Which Usos which? I don't know. That could have been Jey Uso, but it was Jimmy.
Yes. They claimed, allegedly, it was Jimmy.
It could have been. They could have done some twin magic there.
Ooh.
Where was that?
That would have been cool.
That's the only thing I think it was missing, because this was a really fun one to watch.
I thought it was too.
Yeah.
There was plenty, without it being over chaotic, and there weren't any revolutionary spots, never seen before, except for the finish.
The finish was good, and this is a smart way to keep the belts on Morrison and Miz for the time being. They all grabbed the metal piece that holds those belts, mm-hmm. and then the only man that actually came down with the belts, falling from the ladders, was Morrison.
Yeah.
So I guess if we're going to keep the titles on them, that's one way of doing it, instead of just Morrison going over Kofi and Uso. Yeah,
and it made it, that sets it up if they wanted to do that same thing again with all three teams.
I was thinking that too.
I think that's definitely an option, because it's not, Morrison didn't steal the show. He stole the belts,
Yeah, no, and he was the heel in that match. He was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought that was a very good match with a very good booking decision. No complaints there. Once again, the only one to get that right, Mikey Wilson.
Yeah, I think us three picked the Usos.
We did, and I think it would have made more sense if both men were competing. But once I saw the singles match, I don't know about you, I was like, Morrison's retained.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't look good there. But it was definitely a very good matchup there. Maybe the match of the night? Maybe?
It's definitely up there.
Could be up there with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. It's close, but for me personally, and I think the story helps a little bit, and maybe because Kevin Owens is a big fan of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
One of our best friends, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We got pictures with him and everything, if you don't believe us. But my favorite match from night one of WrestleMania. What'd you think?
Mine too. Yeah, I think that layer of being invested in an actual storyline. I actually picked Seth Rollins to win.
You did?
Yeah.
What was your thought behind that? Just the heel?
I didn't have one. Yeah, it makes the heel, gives a little more heat to the heel, I was thinking. And then when he got, he DQ'd KO.
Yeah, with what was it, the ring bell?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, come on.
Yeah,
and then
that would have been bad.
When they restarted the match, I'm like, this is the end,
Yeah.
but it makes sense that Kevin Owens won twice in both ways. He won via DQ and by actually winning. So
The Rollins pick would have made sense if they wanted this feud to keep going.
Yeah.
But I think this is where the end of this feud was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So Kevin going over, like you said, the DQ happened. He jumped off the WrestleMania sign, which you're never going to get that at Raymond James Stadium.
No.
He did.
Was that WrestleMania sign? Was that the sign that was like hanging in stadiums? Is it really that big?
It's a big chunk.
When you look at it,
You've never been in an arena with the WrestleMania sign?
No, we were supposed to be.
Oh God, yeah.
We were supposed to be like pretty under it, pretty close to.
I've been under it before at
Yeah.
an Indie Raw before, and the WrestleMania sign's huge. Like, it's no joke. What you see
Yeah.
on TV, that's a big chunk of metal.
Yeah.
Kevin falling off of it, arguably one of the best spots.
Oh, that was cool.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I popped for that one for sure. But Kevin Owens gets a huge win. Good to see our guy KO going over on Rollins. And Rollins ended up having a squash match on Raw the next night. So that's what Rollins is up to nowadays. But after that, I guess we'll call it the two main events for night one.
Yeah.
Universal title, Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. We weren't 100% sure if Braun was competing until Friday. When you were watching SmackDown, they kind of just said, hey, Braun Strowman's having a title match.
Yeah, and I found that interesting because reports online said Triple H claimed that you'll find a unique way. We have a unique way of making it make sense.
Yeah, I did see
Never acknowledged. Nope. Michael Cole was like, and Braun Strowman will face Goldberg. Here we go.
Very unique way to just tweet it out.
Unique in that we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, never before has it happened where somebody's tweeted out that they're getting a title match. That's
Yes.
for sure. This match, though, really wasn't much of a match. You had your spears, you had your power slams from Strowman, but we have a new Universal Champion. The only one to predict this right was yours truly. Braun Strowman goes over, wins the Universal title. And what I found interesting was I saw reports afterwards that Goldberg didn't want to put over The Fiend at Crown Jewel or whatever that was, Super Showdown. What was that? I don't know.
Yes.
One of the Saudi shows. But he was willing to put over Braun Strowman because of his contract. It was up. He didn't care. Braun should win.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Whatever. That's kind of one of those things where they had the perfect candidate in Roman Reigns to win. It didn't work out. You make something of it. Braun ends up kind of stealing a title, stealing the belt.
I definitely would say stealing. But he kind of deserved it early on in his career.
Yeah, he's been underutilized. I like Braun Strowman. I know he is kind of a shitty human, like a little bit.
He was ripping indie wrestlers.
Yes, and I don't love that about him. But
you're a big fan of the big boys, though. So.
I like the big meaty ones. Yes,
and Braun Strowman is definitely that.
Hashtag big meat. I will not be purchasing his new T-shirt.
That's a bad one.
It's Braun Strowman being the captain. The conductor of a train that looks like Braun Strowman. I hate it. The Strowman Express can go to hell.
Yeah, that's bad. And you said hashtag big meat. If anybody tweets back hashtag big meat to this episode and we get at least 5 of you that do it, I will give you a Braun Strowman figure.
Okay.
You have to be in a drawing, though. We need 5 because the giveaway, we got like 3 retweets.
That's weird. I don't know why anyone wouldn't do it either.
It's free.
It's like...
And it was an elite figure.
And it's not the social media... sweepstakes or giveaways that I hate are when there's like 4 things to do where it's like retweet, tag 3 people, like and share,
Instagram.
Follow on Instagram, do all this stuff. I ain't doing that. If I just have to hit the retweet button and I'm in, I do it more often than not.
Yeah, so I also saw a lot of people like, oh, this makes The Fiend look bad, which it might, but I think now what we are seeing from The Fiend and his character work is he doesn't really need that belt anyways.
No.
We saw what happened on night 2, which we'll touch on. But the main event of night 1 was the Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. I really had no expectations for this. We obviously knew it was going to be on like a closed set type of thing. Mm-hmm. Thought it was unique, and I thought it was a fantastic A+.
I thought it was going to stink.
Really?
But it did not.
No.
And the tweet in my head that I did not tweet and saved for this was...
In the drafts?
It's one of the... in probably one of the most tightly scripted, overproduced matches in quotations. I thought it felt almost some of the most real moments. The Undertaker had a voice, right?
He looked like he was a good actor.
And all of it was improvised, according to reports, too.
Really?
So it took, from reports, it took 5 days to get the set built. Took them
5 days.
Took them 8 hours to film.
Oh, man.
That thing. So they're there all night.
And this was like a 30-minute segment, I believe?
Yeah. Took them just around 8 hours to film. All of the conversation was improvised. No words were scripted. Spots were, obviously.
Yeah, planned out.
The broken window on accident.
Really?
Yes. It was supposed to be a pick and pop where like he hits the window and goes
Was
after
he supposed to be bleeding?
No.
So that's why he said, look what you made me do, or something like that.
Like, oh, look what you did, AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of it, in hindsight, all of that, it felt very organic. It didn't feel super scripted. Like I have to say this word before I do this thing.
It didn't feel WWE corny either, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like, it wasn't cheesy.
Yeah, I just thought it was good, you know. The one spot I would have taken out was the robed people jumping
that was
out of
weird. That was weird. I agree.
whatever. I said the Dark Order's here. That was my tweet at that moment.
What an AEW mark you are.
Yes. But I thought, man, I just thought it was fun. Undertaker, you cannot produce or edit out his immobility. You know, he's pretty old.
Yeah.
But I think that type of methodical plugging, plotting type of match was good.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought, like, with AJ pulling up in the casket, funny touch. AJ played that role so well.
Yeah,
There's I don't think there's another guy in this type of match that could have pulled it off as good as AJ Styles. And this is just another thing to add to AJ's, short resume that he has in the WWE. And even though he lost, I mean, he looks good. And we had Gallows and Anderson. They were able to get a moment in that match. They took their bumps on top of the shed, I guess we can call it. But overall, I mean, I think I just want to see more of this from The Undertaker specifically because he's old, like you just said. Why not just keep doing these kind of matches with him?
You can. I think, I hope you're in that weird situation where, like, I definitely want to see another one, but I also don't because I don't want him to, like,
overdo it.
This first one was great, and I don't want him to overthink it and overproduce another one.
Save it for next year's Mania.
Yeah.
Do it with Sting, like I really was trying to push on the WrestleMania preview show.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping there was a spot, that Kane popped up or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, Undertaker didn't need anybody to do the job when AJ Styles needed his henchmen and still couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
It was, for sure.
The one thing.
Yeah.
AJ Styles turned the tractor on. So did Undertaker.
I'm trying to get.
AJ Styles got on the tractor and turned it on to move
Yep.
the dirt, and then 10 minutes later,
It automatically turns off. Everybody
do
knows
they?
that. I don't know.
I don't know.
We can ask Tim Wiltshire or somebody.
And
like
that is a super tiny little
detail, yeah.
not even thing. Like it did not do anything for me. The hand out of the dirt, Undertaker's idea.
Was it?
Yeah, he told Triple H. Triple H was had a huge
nice touch.
Had a huge part in that.
That's like putting the bow on top of your present right there.
Yeah.
And I tweeted, I was like, that's like me after my 5 gin and tonics that I had in like 2 hours. My
the hand popping out of the cover of the blanket.
I was pretty drunk at that main event. I'm not going to lie. But overall, grade for night one, I think I will give it an A-.
Yeah.
I thought the only somewhat subpar thing was Elias and Corbin.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was great.
That was not, that wasn't a Mania-centric match at any regard. But
Felt like SmackDown.
Very happy.
So night two led off with Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. I thought this may have been the best technical wrestling match from the weekend itself because the story was told with actual wrestling instead of other, matches that had like the shenanigans and the camera work and all of that. And I thought the storytelling was great. Charlotte continuously was attacking the knee, which we've known that she has been targeting on NXT and whatnot with those attacks. So I thought just overall, Charlotte, that was a wise veteran heel, just showing off why she's, in my opinion, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Rhea's super talented, but I still have wisdom and I have that depth, and I've been here before, and I know how to get out of one of these situations, or these types of situations. So interesting to see what theyll do with her down in NXT.
Thoughts on her ring gear? She switched it up. Maybe it's because she wasn't wearing all black.
I know. I mentioned that at Mikey's house that she just looked bright, and which is a little different, but
Doesn't really fit her character.
I didn't think so, but
If I would have known that her work visa was expiring going into this match, I probably would have picked Charlotte because that's a little detail that they didn't tell us until afterwards.
yeah.
So apparently she's back in Australia, I believe, is where she lives.
Mhm.
So maybe they're keeping her off TV for a little bit.
I guess
Because we know Io Shirai is now the number 1 contender. Thoughts on that?
I enjoyed the match.
Io and Charlotte is going to be a banger.
I think so too. Yeah.
Whenever that may be, maybe it's the next takeover. Who cares? You know, like I'll take it every day of the week. So, no. Overall, very fond of this match.
Yeah, probably the match of the night. Honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It's the most match we got from a wrestling standpoint because it wouldn't be unless it was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. That wasn't it.
No, that was a little bit of a snoozer for me.
The match went 7.5 minutes.
That's
That match should have been 6 minutes and 6 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Just black mass him. See ya.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I love Aleister Black, and we were talking about this probably like 10 episodes ago. What are we doing with Aleister Black? Let's
Still a little bit of nothing. Yep.
Money in the Bank's coming up though.
Is it?
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
May 10th. How awkward would it be having Money in the Bank from the PC with all those ladder matches and everything?
Oh, that would stink.
We're kind of used to it now, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we are. But Aleister Black went over there. After that, finally, Tuck, Otis gets his girl. How you feel, Ducky?
Oh, yes.
Match of the night for you?
Sweet victory. To see Otis be able to get Mandy Rose in his arms. We find out Sonya Deville's up to her sneaky ways.
Classic Sonya.
Do we have the glitch figured out? Is it Ali?
Ali. It's got to be Ali. But why does Ali care about this feud?
I know, right? I don't. Maybe he doesn't care about the feud, but he cares about the truth. And he, regardless of what it is. No, not that, you boob. I think that was Mikey's conversation we had. I said, "What's up with the glitch?" He said, "It's Ali."
Yeah,
Ali wants the truth. He doesn't care about that feud, but he knows things other people don't.
So he's a good guy hacker looking for the truth in every situation. That's his gimmick?
Apparently, yeah.
Maybe we'll see what happens on SmackDown. But I thought the match was actually not that bad.
No.
Dolph Ziggler's first singles match at WrestleMania against Otis in front of no one.
Yeah.
Mandy comes out, slaps Sonya. Otis hits the worm. Otis gets the win.
Come on now.
Heavy machinery, their stock.
On the rise. Ham and Slam, baby. That's a shirt I'm not buying either. That one stinks.
You already have a heavy machinery shirt.
I do. Blue Collar Solid is way cooler than Ham and Slam.
Not a big Ham and Slam guy.
No.
You know what I'm out on, too, is ham on Easter. I know Easter's coming up, but I'm not a big ham guy.
We've always doubled up. We always do turkey and ham on all of them. So we've got options.
Smart.
Yeah.
Easter this year going to be a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know how to cook.
You should have done what I just did. I just got meal delivery service.
I might have to set that up.
I just did like the free trial and then I canceled it. And I called and they're like, "Why'd you cancel?" I was like, "Money."
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry to see you go.
Hashtag Corona. Thanks.
Thanks, Obama. Oh wait, that doesn't apply here. Thanks, Trump.
It still works.
Yeah, people do still say thanks, Obama.
Yes.
But, Randy Orton versus Edge would be the next match, the last man standing match. This is the one that hurt the most of not being in front of a bunch of people because I really wanted to hear that pop again. Edge's first match back, and it's in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Overall, though, what did you think?
I could have been about 15 minutes shorter. To me, it was plotting. I just the announcers did not do much to build it up. It was like they were quiet, like they were watching it in a library or something. Yeah, it was weird. The Benoit spot, thoughts?
Benoit spot?
Yeah, when he fake hung.
Oh, yeah.
Edge in the weight room.
That got some controversy.
Some people were heated up about that. I didn't particularly, and I saw the Dark Side of the Ring too. So that didn't necessarily pop up to me.
No.
Yeah, I picked Orton to win too. So
yeah,
that went well.
You weren't right there. Edge got the win here, but like you said, I thought it went a little long, but I still think it was good. And this is what they call a quote-unquote blood feud, you know, because from the start of Randy turning on him. So this is really the only way you probably could have done this, because if we would have seen a standard wrestling match between the two, after all that transpired, it wouldn't have felt right.
Right. You needed something, yeah.
I didn't see it, but Aaron texted me. His criticism here was there wasn't enough weapons used. He wanted more chairs, kendo sticks, and stuff like that. He felt like there was a lot of punching and a lot of throwing guys against the wall than actual, physicality.
Yeah, I could see that. It did feel like a tour of the Performance Center.
Like we saw with Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah, so I guess they're limited in that regard, but there's definitely things, bells and whistles, you could have added to make it a little bit more brutal. But yeah.
It could have been protecting Edge, too. And I also heard that they had an audible on this one, that they had to change some things up right before they were going to record this. That's what Edge said on Corey Graves' podcast today. I don't know if you listened.
I didn't listen to
Yeah,
that.
so definitely listen to that. Edge was on there, but he was saying that this was totally just a 40-minute audible. So knowing that, I think they did a very good job with it. I mean, they went on the production truck. They went onto an actual truck, DDT'd him there. Edge gets the huge win. A lot of people were either on two sides of the spectrum. They really enjoyed it, or they really were they felt underwhelmed. So where were you?
I was a little bit on the underwhelmed side of it. And I think I think a few more of those big pops with the weapons would have done it a little bit for me. Again, the announcers didn't do anything for me to try to get invested either.
You don't realize how big announcers, role they play in some matches until you hear that.
Right. Yeah, it was like they were like whispering or like, it was weird.
It felt like they were worried about Edge and his safety because of the history with the neck. But I think if you could have got me and you on commentary, we would have done a little bit more of exciting.
Yeah.
Like,
No
Jesus
doubt.
Christ, Saxton. And I think it was, Tom Phillips?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. You could do better than that. But I thought it was good. I'm not going to hate on it, especially since it's Edge's first time back, and they kind of had to do the audible there. So I think Edge going over was smart. Move on to the next feud. We'll see what happens. Who's next for Edge, though?
Oof. You have any picks? I'm wide open.
Aaron likes him winning Money in the Bank because his whole persona is ultimate opportunist.
Ooh.
So I could see that, but I don't think a guy like Edge needs Money in the Bank at this point in his career. So after that, maybe AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Maybe an Aleister Black. I mean, there's some guys on that Raw roster that I think if he paired up, maybe a Brock Lesnar, since Brock's not doing anything now.
Ooh.
They got history. Just keep going with these guys that will be able to protect Edge.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But Edge gets a win here. Next matchup, the Raw Tag Team Championships were defended. The Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. The one thing that I really enjoyed about this was Bianca getting involved on WrestleMania. And now that she is a part of the Raw roster, it makes sense that she showed up here. But other than that, I thought this was like a tag match you would see on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it would have been good for the kickoff show, I guess.
Instead, we got Liv and Natalya on the kickoff.
No,
That actually wasn't bad.
It wasn't terrible, and you got Liv. So
Liv, my pick to win the women's Money in the Bank.
the only thing that could have made it better was subtract Liv and add Sarah Logan.
Yeah, that's true. Where was Sarah Logan on that? You have to pick 3 tweet that you were talking about.
I know, right? Like, come on.
They put Ruby Riott in there and Liv, but they left out one part.
Come on.
Of the Riot
The most
Squad.
important, the glue. She's the glue girl of the Riot Squad.
The glue gal, yeah, for sure. So overall, you agree with me that was kind of
The only time I said "oh" was when Bianca Belair showed up.
Yeah, and that's cool. And I like the idea that she's working with the Street Profits because her husband Montez Ford
cool
is there.
little faction,
little trio going on there. So we'll see what happens there. But after that, we got a fatal 5-way elimination match with Tamina, Naomi, Lacey, Sasha, and Bayley. Sorry, Mikey Wilson. Tamina did not win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I was going to leave his house, not even say goodbye.
Was he cheering for her?
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
He wasn't obnoxious about it, but he was on a heater at that point. He was doing good with his picks.
He was.
And I took my championship belt over there. You know,
oh, you Mark.
I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking.
What you thinking?
I think we make that belt the rotating champions belt.
I don't want to hold your title. I feel wrong.
Bro, where does it go? Like as a group, if we have an opportunity to get it signed, We try to get it signed. I mean, obviously, it's just mine. Like, whenever I want to, like, okay, I'm done playing these games, I'm taking it back.
So you're saying for the predictions?
Yeah.
Where's my belt?
No, next.
Of course.
After I came in dead last, then I came up with the idea.
So the title is on the lineup. Money in the Bank is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So should we get the main listeners in, like Vogus and Aaron?
I think
between us 5.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. You know, you get to hang on. It does nothing at my house.
Okay.
And
I'm in.
If anything, you hold it for a month and hopefully it changes hands.
Or you could bring it to CPWF, hashtag CPWF 2020.
Or we get like a custom. There are custom ones made. Maybe
I think I know a guy that does custom belts.
I might look into that. They're not that expensive, but if everybody chipped in like $40, we could definitely get them.
I'd be in. I'd do it. I'm a mark. I've
cool.
always wanted a belt.
Get an on the mark title.
OTM in the middle.
Yeah, you can get the logo or the NWO logo on it.
Yeah.
They could do that.
I like that. But this match itself, though, the SmackDown Women's Championship, I had no excitement going into this, but I thought it actually delivered. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was my P-break match, and I thought it was good. I thought it made sense.
Sasha wasn't one of the last 2 remaining.
Yeah, I thought that there was an easy out for them to split. But the way that it all ended made sense. I was excited because Lacey was in the mix there.
She looked really good in this match, too. She keeps putting on good matches, and I'm seeing less hate, finally.
Yes. Yeah, I like Lacey Evans. So.
I've always liked Lacey Evans. I've been a day one. There's tweets, and I'll go back into my history of me tweeting about her in NXT.
And we're talking about some down since day one-ish right here.
For sure. I have not been a nasty. I thought she had actually...
You are a nasty just because,
A nasty stan, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought she had a chance to win there at the end, but Bayley retained. I think we're setting up towards Sasha and Bayley in the future. Is that what it looks like to you, too?
I think so, yep.
Maybe SummerSlam? Give those ladies a match. We've seen what they've done. And have you seen any of their... Have you seen any of their NXT takeover matches?
I have, yeah. They can kind of blow the doors off a place. Like Bayley gets some hate, but
that's the best Bayley we get when she's with Sasha. I think it was an Iron Woman match from I don't know which takeover it was, but my favorite women's match of all time was those 2.
Oh, really?
So yeah, if you haven't seen
That's
that
homework.
one,
yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. But yeah, Bayley retained her championship. So the final 2 matches here for night 2 was The Fiend versus John Cena and Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. Well, let's talk about The Fiend and John Cena. This was like another WWE production type of match. And once again, I thought it delivered.
I thought it was cool. At the beginning, I was kind of like, what's going on? Well, and you're expecting the Boneyard match, something along the lines of the Boneyard match, too, where... this was much different, and Mikey and I both enjoyed it. Mikey's dad, not a fan.
I feel like a lot of the older people missed
1,000% hated it.
Yeah.
I liked the layers behind it. I liked the approach behind it. It was different. I thought it was very interesting, very cool. I don't need to see it again next month or within a certain time frame, but. Again, all things considered, getting something like that has meaning with the layers behind it, with all of Cena's failures and things like that, I thought it was pretty cool.
And I think going with what you said about Mikey's ad is that this match, or I'm not even going to call it a match because it really wasn't, but this may not have been as entertaining to people that really didn't know the history between the 2. Going back to 6 years ago when Cena deliberately said, I don't want to put over Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. That was his decision to win that match against Bray. So Bray referenced that with the old Cena. The Ruthless Aggression came out. Cena in the NWO kind of referencing that he's never turned heel, never been that bad guy before. Yeah. And that he's not as nice of a guy as he makes it out to seem. Mm-hmm. That's what he was saying there.
Yeah. And it kind of made John Cena, look in the mirror and here's your life, sir. And it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't as good as the Boneyard match, but
yeah, if I had to pick one, I would have picked the Boneyard match
for sure. But I still was invested from every second. And like I said, since I knew the history and everything, and then once the match happened, and I kind of saw on Twitter people diving into it more and kind of digesting it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, This is cool. So now people are saying Cena versus Bray Wyatt 3, maybe next year's WrestleMania, because they've had that one 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They had this. Now they're even. We have a blow-off next year.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
I wouldn't hate it.
For sure. So that was cool. The main event, though, Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. Once again, this felt like Goldberg and Strowman in terms of how the match went.
Yep.
Big guys hitting their finishers, hitting their spots. F5s were hit. 4 Claymores were hit. Drew McIntyre, the new WWE champion.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they stuck with it. Well, I think the anticipation going into it was that Drew McIntyre was going to win.
Yes.
Given that it was in, I'm still glad. You know, it kind of stinks for Drew McIntyre. He doesn't get to win in front of the fans, but that's his story, and that's been his outline in every step of the way. It hasn't gone just right to plan. So I was happy to see him win, and now I'm happy to see him continue to be champion for hopefully a pretty long stretch here.
20 minutes after WrestleMania ended, apparently we saw on Monday Night Raw that he faced the Big Show.
Well, oh yeah,
Big Show getting WWE title opportunities in 2020.
just out of nowhere.
It's probably because I forgot what part. It might have been busted open, but Big Show lives like an hour and a half away. So it was probably an issue of like, well, we might as well just have a guy face Drew.
Why not? Yeah.
And I thought that match was better than the Brock match.
It didn't suck. Yeah, and I'm glad that they just didn't let Big Show win like it was a 24/7 title.
There was a close near fall there.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of the 24/7 title, we might as well wrap up.
Yeah.
We got a new 24/7 champion. Well, night 1, Mojo, I think, ended the night as champion.
Yeah.
And then night 2, Rob Gronkowski is the WWE 24/7 champion.
That's what a time to be alive.
A lot of title changes, and who would have thought that the last one we would talk about? Rob Gronkowski, former Patriots tight end.
I thought it was fun.
It was.
With him, yeah.
You got to have those kind of segments in
Yeah.
there to, keep it lighthearted. But overall, what would you give night 2?
Probably about B minus an 83%.
You've been grading a lot today, so
Oh
I'm just
my
adding it
God.
onto your list.
Yeah, and it's my fault too. I've let the grading slip a little bit and
Procrastinated.
had things come up. Yeah, I've got to be a little bit more proactive with it. But
More of a night 1 guy.
night 1 was definitely better. I'd say I'd give night 1 a 92, give night 2 an 84. That's going to average out to an 88.
And for what it was in front of no one, that's
Yeah.
really good, Tuck.
I think so too.
I saw people saying this was a top 5 Mania.
I don't know.
Granted, we haven't watched as many,
I don't know that I would do that.
but I think for what they were given and what they had to do in this time, they knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give night 2 about a B minus, so a little under an 84, maybe like an 81.
And the thing, like the WWE, when their backs are against the wall, they stand and deliver. When 90% of the roster was stuck in Saudi, that SmackDown was wild.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome. And I wish WWE would have this sense of urgency in front of 80,000 people, in front of, when their backs are against the wall, they have to put on a really good show. Given the circumstances, they're handcuffed. They find a way to make it great. And I thought it was great. I did, and I wish they would have that sense of urgency.
Yeah, that's a good point.
On television on a weekly basis. Again, I don't need big moments, unforgettable promos, everything like that week to week.
For sure, yeah.
But they hold the rope a lot normally.
They coast.
Yeah, a coast. That's it. Yeah. And I thought WrestleMania delivered. I was excited to watch it. From night 1 to night 1 only made me want to see night 2
for
more.
sure. Mm-hmm.
The question I have would be, if you saw The Fiend and John Cena on night 1, I wonder what that would make you think of the Boneyard match on night 2. I think in my head I would have liked the Boneyard match even more.
I still think
was so different.
I like the way they laid out the card, though.
Me too. Yeah,
I thought that was very wise how they did that. And going off to your point of WWE with their backs against the wall, they always seem to deliver. I think that's why they've always been around and nobody's ever come close to topping them as a company.
Yeah.
Like WWE knows how to put on a good show when they need to.
Yeah.
And that's why they're never going to fail. That's why WWE has been around forever and AEW is not going to take that over. And I know that hurts Marks, but we love AEW. We do.
You like the powers that be. It's unbelievable. Like AEW, there's no. I don't see.
No chance.
AEW is not touching SmackDown and Raw numbers.
They're touching NXT except for this week, obviously. But
yeah.
Awesome. But no, overall, I totally agree with you. I think WWE WrestleMania was a fantastic show under these circumstances for sure. But other than that, that's all I really got from WrestleMania. What about you?
Yeah, same here. I was very skeptical going in about what this WrestleMania would look like. I was on the camp very early on of delay it, and I'm actually glad they didn't, because for about 8 hours over 2 days or 7.5 hours over 2 days, the only thing that mattered to me was wrestling, not dealing with the world we were in. And like your blog said, it was an escape.
Yeah.
They had the courage to continue doing it, and they took a risk. That you're taking a risk to
for sure,
in defiance of what should be happening or should not be happening.
Like, no sports are doing that. No live television show is doing that. The only people doing it right now are the WWE and AEW on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's only going to get tougher here in this next window for them to continue doing it. I don't know how much more we have in the tank aside
this is
from what they've
supposed to
already
be
got
too,
taped.
like where the virus hits the hardest too. So.
Yeah, we're supposed to be nearing the peak, which for us is great news, I think, because
after the peak,
we're on our way down.
Yeah, you would hope. So just stay 6 feet apart, please, and don't go out.
Yeah, it's not hard.
We want a summer. We want live wrestling. We want live sports. We want it all.
We do, and the way to get it back is to try to do your best. And it's very difficult, especially when, like, the last 2 days it's been 70 degrees.
Yeah,
now it's 45, so we're back. But
had to turn the heat back on today. I was a little chilly.
Today, it's kind of funny because yesterday we would have had practice, nice 70-degree practice, and today would have been our home opener where we dedicated the field to Keith on the baseball side. And if it would have been 1 day sooner, it would have been like the most beautiful day like ever on April 8th or whatever.
You can't think about that, Tuck. I'm sorry.
It's hard, man.
I know.
It's hard.
There should have been a lot of things going on right now. And I should have experienced a lot of things in the past couple weeks. That SmackDown being one of them together.
Yeah.
But, damn COVID-19. What a jabroni you are, as the Iron Sheik would say.
Like, biggest heel move, like, just back up for a second.
Hopefully in these next coming weeks we see a light at the end of the tunnel. But, overall, I'm glad, like I said in my blog that you even referenced to, is that I'm glad WWE gave us an escape, and it felt like a normal weekend. Like, I wasn't worrying and thinking about anything else going on in the world, and I just worried about WrestleMania. So overall, my cap is off to you, WWE.
Yeah, and for the ones that there's people out there that didn't like it.
Fuck you.
Yeah, like,
I'll say it. I know you probably don't want to say it.
No, like, come on. I mean, screw you, guy.
That's the most Tuck response to that I've ever heard.
So in the meantime, before we get to our next episode next week, check out otsportsnetwork.com. That's the Overtime Sports Network. You can follow them on Twitter @_OTSN. We have a YouTube channel as well. There's a bunch of videos over there. I did get Mikey to join the Pro Wrestling Crate team.
Oh, he's going to...
So, yeah, this month's theme coming up is USA. He was all on board.
Of course.
Big
USA guy.
Mr. America. Some people are saying... So there's some good content over on our YouTube as well. Just search Overtime Sports Network. You'll see the scoreboard up there. You can follow me on Twitter @JimTuck89. You can follow Kyle @TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet.
Until next time, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter @PodOnTheMark.